show them the other side. What's up, fellas? Feast your eyes on the class of 1974 Kawasaki F11 250 Enduro. Just had a birthday in March, turned 51 years old. This is absolutely the nicest original that we've ever had in the shop. 357 miles on it. It's an absolute freaking diamond. The gauges look like they just came out of the box. This is the only one I've ever seen that had the sticker on there from the manufacturer showing where the red line is. Those are usually taken off at the dealership. The fact that that's still on there is absolutely remarkable. All original paint on the fuel tank and the fenders. That's the original saddle. This bike has the original tires from 1974 on it, and it's absolutely remarkable that they're not dry rotted at all. It's been given a full preservation service, everything you could ever want to do to take a 51-year-old motorcycle and bring it back to its original fresh out of the crate appearance mechanically and cosmetically has been done. The paint on the side covers, that's all original decals. All of the cycle parts on this motorcycle are original. They've all been polished to a brilliant shine, and mechanically it's been gone right through. Let me go over the service work order first. The fuel petcock, that's the original fuel petcock was rebuilt. The gas tank was cleaned, and a gallon of VP fuel was added, along with some new fuel line and new vent line for the carburetor. The carburetor was cleaned, dismantled, and rebuilt. He bled the oil injector pump, set the pump cable, cleaned out the airbox, and installed a new uni foam air filter, the OEM style reproduction air filter, and installed a brand new battery, new NGK Spark Plug. The tach cable needed to be replaced, so he put a new tachometer cable on it, checked all the electrical functions, and adjusted the cables and the tire pressure. He did also install a new 525 chain on the rear, just because the original was a little crusty looking at 50 years old. So that's a exact same reproduction, same exact model and color of the original chain. So as far as the parts that are not original on this bike, the battery, the spark plug, the drive chain, the air filter, the tach cable, the O-ring for the petcock, and the fuel line. That's it. So just those are what we call consumables. All the cycle parts on this motorcycle, the grips, the levers, the bars, the turn signals, the headlight bucket, everything on this is pristine original, pretty much unheard of. This is a really rare candy yellow 74 Kawasaki 250, the original factory candy yellow. I think outside in the sun, you can see it, it shines brilliantly. It runs as good as it looks. It runs flawlessly, starts first kick, accelerates beautifully, plenty of power on this 250, two-stroke, equivalent to what a 350 or 454 stroke would have, or even a 500. They're very powerful for their size. They punch out of their weight class. Once it was mechanically dialed in, it was brought down to the detail shop. We're on the second floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum. We do detail work on bikes like that $300,000 Excelsior Henderson 4 over there, and some priceless factory race bikes, legit factory race bikes, and bikes from all countries. So we know what we're doing, and this one was done right, and it's very time consuming to do it this way. The front wheel was removed and vapor blasted. The hub was vapor blasted. The spokes were polished. The rim was cleaned, taking very careful attention not to mess up this original DID sticker on the rim here. That was taped over, and then it was cleaned around. The hub was polished on both sides, and you can see it shines like brand new. The original clear coat after 50 years fades and starts checking, so it's a very labor intensive process where you have to sand off the clear coat, vapor blasted, sanded like 3 different grits of sandpaper, and then 3 different polishing rouges. The forks were also given the same treatment, spa treatment. They were polished to a brilliant shine. Those are not chrome. They originally were clear coated, but the clear coated had failed and faded, as they often do after 20, 30 years. So 50 years later, that was totally normal. The original fork uppers were polished. All of the painted parts on the motorcycle were given a three-stage polish in wax, and we use a product called New Coat, and then they were ceramic coated. So just brilliant shine on the original factory paint job. All the tins were polished. All the chrome on the bike was polished and cleaned. It even has the original clips on the handlebars here, which is pretty much unheard of. These are normally long gone. All the hardware is in mint condition. The switch housings are in excellent condition. The original grips are in mint shape. Has all of usually there's a screw that holds this turn signal switch, and they usually fall out, and that's usually long gone, leaving a bare switch. So to find one like this with 300 miles in this kind of condition is absolutely remarkable. The same treatment that the front wheel was given, the rear end of the bike was given. The rear wheel was removed. The chain was removed. That's the original sprocket on there. You can see the original bolts, and everything on the sprocket is 100% original, 300 miles. The brake pads are original, and they're still, I don't even think they've ever been adjusted. They're adjusted all the way out. As you can see, where the wear pad is on there, it's all the way out. I don't think I've ever seen one that had the sticker from the factory too. That's the brake wear. That's usually long gone. The hub, that was carefully taped off, and then the hub was vapor blasted, sanded, and polished. As you can see, that looks like chrome. The wheel hub itself was vapor blasted. The bearings were lubed. It has a fitting on here where you can grease the bearings. All of the components were clean and polished and remounted on the bike. But before they did that, they repainted the swing arm and the brake stay on this side, and they repainted the swing arm on this side, so it looks factory fresh. They repainted the original factory color, the chain guide, which is mint condition, and the upper chain guide was also painted. The shocks were vapor blasted and polished. They shine like brand new. Every inch of the bike, including the undercarriage, the whole bike was steam cleaned, hand washed. And if you look at the bash plate right here, this is absolutely pristine condition. It's never bounced off a rock. That was removed. The bottom of the engine was clean, and this was repainted the original factory color. The frame was not repainted. This is the original factory paint on the frame. That was in excellent condition. The kickstand was repainted. You know, people, you put your boot on it, so usually the paint chips off. So that was repainted. The original shifter is in mint condition. The original foot pegs are in mint condition. The foot peg mount was removed, sandblasted, and repainted on both sides. The engine itself was given a full rotisserie detail. Both, as I said, the bottom of the engine was cleaned. The exhaust was removed and vapor blasted, and then painted the original matte finish. The heat shield was painted the original semi-gloss, and you can see the original hardware is in mint shape. The exhaust system was restored to new. The engine cylinder was repainted, the base cylinder was repainted, and the fins were polished like they were from the factory. So just what we call a museum quality rotisserie detail. The bike was basically dismantled, and everything on it was cleaned and polished, including underneath the seat and every square inch of the bike. So the service department, Jimmy only had the bike for 5 hours because it was mechanically, didn't need much at all, just what I told you he did to it. But it was in the detail shop for a total of 40 hours. We bill out at $175 an hour here for these types of services. So if you bought your bike and wanted this type of work done to it, you'd have a 45-hour work order, not including materials. Just the labor itself was $7,875 plus $264 in parts plus tax. The total came to $8,655 plus the cost of a mint original 355-mile F11. So this one's not going to be, this is in the high roller section. It's the nicest one we've ever had. Most of them are, I'm not going to say, well, I'll say it, a lot of the restored vintage Enduros are lipstick on a pig that were hammered. Tanks were dented and whatnot, and they get a complete restoration. The engines are dismantled, and all the cycle parts are worn out on them. The shifter, the The cranks are out of balance because they've got 10,000 miles on them. This one is 350 miles. So we figured take it to the finish line, get it as close to perfect as humanly possible while preserving the original paint on the frame, the tank. The engine's never been opened up because it has 300 miles. All the cycle parts are original except for the consumables I mentioned. The other thing we did is check out the engine cases on this side over here. These engine cases, engine case covers on the drive chain side were clear coated from the factory also. So these were removed because the clear coat had faded and was like a, it's worn looking color. So that was vapor blasted and then sanded 3 different grits and then polished. So it's very easy to maintain. Once it's polished, it stays clean. This was the Kawasaki logo back here was repainted, and this Kawasaki logo here was polished also as part of the polishing process, a 3-stage process. Same exact process was followed on this side over here on the clutch cover. It's a very, if you've ever done one, you know how much work it is. It's very time consuming. And whether it's a $300,000 Excelsior Henderson that we're restoring or a Kawasaki F11 250 that's getting a preservation service, we like to take it to the next level. It's a labor of love. I want them to, this is how I would do the bike if it was for me. And this bike's being put up for sale, but I do the exact same process on every motorcycle that we, I'm not going to call it restored because it's a 350-mile original, but a full preservation service and mechanical service. Everything that it needed was done. So if you're looking for a mint original, this is as good as it gets, guys. I don't think there's another. As a matter of fact, there is not another F11 250 this nice for sale on the planet today. I went online and checked. There's nothing on eBay, nothing on Mecum, nothing on Bring a Trailer. This is a really, really rare opportunity. I doubt we'll ever get another 300-mile one. It's as close to getting a fresh out of the crate NOS brand new motorcycle as you'll ever find. And in fact, this is even better than it was new because the hubs, the forks, and the engine cases weren't polished like this. So, and it runs as good as it looks, which is to say perfectly. So if you have any questions about it, give us a call, 860-454-7024. Roll on, roll off, white glove service to your door and enclosed insured transporters that we've shipped over 10,000 bikes with all over the country. We can ship overseas also to Canada, wherever you want. And we offer financing in-house, and we also take trades. So if you're looking for the nicest F11 250, nicest original 51-year-old classic on the planet, this is a bike, if you're gonna buy an Antica classic and you wanna actually ride it, unlike some of the British and some of the Italian bikes that can be a little persnickety, this is as close to mechanical perfection as you'll ever get in an Antica. They run awesome. They're absolutely bulletproof, reliable, very easy and very little maintenance. I wouldn't recommend taking it off-road in the mud. I don't think this bike's ever been off-road ever, but I wouldn't hesitate to ride this. If you wanted to ride it as a daily rider or at your summer house, or you want to take it to Mid-Ohio for AMA Vintage Days, this bike could be the cover bike for AMA Vintage Days. It really doesn't get any better than this. Give my son Kenny Jr. a call, 860-471-0192. He'll hook you up. We'll take care of you. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.